As women, we are strong.
One of you is about to become Miss Universe. Miss Trinidad Tobago is Miss Universe.
We are resilient.
They are more accepting today, the African in us, than they used to.
We are nurturing.
We are going to call you Calypso Rose, which means rose is the mother of all flowers.
We each have a story that can inspire and motivate others.
I thank God for every blessing He has given me, especially this son.
Every week at the Xanadu Tropical Resort, we chat with some of the most beautiful women who are making an extraordinary contribution to Trinidad and Tobago. They share their journey unscripted and real. This is The Pink Ego. Today on The Pink Ego.
Hello ladies, I am Ghenere Lindsi Heerah, founder of Women of Elegance, and today I would like to take this opportunity to ask you ladies to evaluate yourself, to sit back and allow yourself to be taken into a journey. Ask yourself, have you been loving you? Have you been treating yourself in the way that you should be treated? Or were you allowing yourself to remain in a situation that were causing your worth to be tarnished? Was it a relationship? Was it your financial situation? Was it your children? Or even your career life? Today I encourage and I empower you to rise and become the best version of yourself, rising above your circumstances, and don't forget, your Woman of Elegance smiles.
So, tell me the meaning of your name. Ghenere. Ghenere.
Yes. Well, the meaning of my name is God's gift.
Right.
My dad named all of us. I'm the eldest of three, and because I'm the firstborn, it went into like God's gift. And my brother is Jerome, and he's God's promise, and my sister is Jariel, and she's God's surprise. So it's GHE.
Okay.
So GH, which is his initials, as you know, God and Heerah, yes.
Wow. Okay, well, we're talking about family. So tell me a little bit about your family.
Okay, well, I was brought up in a Christian home, and still being brought up in a Christian home. Our foundation is Christ, as always. I came from a military background because my father's a commander, retired commander. So you saw where discipline was always, important in our home, but still we were very open. You know, my parents do not work like separate; they work as a team. So you cannot be like, okay, Stacy, well, let me see if I can work this on. Let me go and ask my dad, and I'll get a yes, no. They work as a team. So you see that in their marriage and also in their parents, and it's so important. You know, growing up, I realized at times when there's a lot of things that I could not have done that other persons was able to do, like my classmates and stuff. And now I am so thankful for that type of parenting because it brought me to be the woman that I am today. So my family is very open, they're very outgoing. My sister and I are more like my dad, which is more people's person. And my brother is more like mommy, which is more reserved. But we're all talented in our own area, you know, so that's how our family
You talk about being, the woman that you are today.
Yes.
There's a journey. Everyone has that journey.
True.
So take me through that journey to you, from the start to you now being this woman that you are today.
Well, there was a lot of decisions that I made that was not right. And being brought up, as I said, with my foundation of Christ, there was a lot of decisions that was not godly and was not in the line of God and exactly what He will want, what His word says, and also through my parenting. Whereas you will see like relationships, and you will understand that as young females, we get caught up sometimes in being in relationships that we should not be in, especially in my case, being on the yokes with people who are not even grounded in Christ, or guys who have a certain type of lifestyle and is so opposite of what I want to live with. So I've made certain decisions that caused me to even make decisions that I could never take back. And sometimes I will sit back and I will be like, do I want to go back in time? Sometimes I wish that I could. But would I have been the Ghenere I am today? No. So through my journeys, I realized that I was finding myself, the preteens, because I went to St. Joseph Convent and coming out of that and then going in, different life choices. And you saw where at times that I could be confused in terms of what world do I want? What type of life do I want? What choices do I want? And it gravitates to what your circle wanted, which was so you're growing up in convent, everybody's able to go to parties, not Ghenere. I got my phone in Form 5, all the different things.
Right.
So when you that your parents withhold certain things from you, you wanted it more. But then when you realize that your parents were not giving up on you with certain things that they wanted you to come out of, for instance, a relationship, you realize it was for the betterment of the individual that I am today. So I made a lot of decisions that was not pleasing to my family and also to God. But then I realized that I climbed out of that, because when I was able to climb out of situations, for instance, like relationships that my parents would not have given consent to, I realized that my worth a little bit was tarnished, and I questioned who I am. Am I still able to do certain things? I wonder if I could still do this in the gospel industry or our Christian circle, our body of Christ. Am I still able to do certain things? Or am I still able to mentor a young person because I've made decisions like that? Or because I could say, oh gosh, that person is my ex-boyfriend. Should I still be able to do that? No. So God reminded me of my worth and who I was, to realize that I am still pure despite my decisions, that I am still like rubies despite what I did. I am still like jewels. I'm still a diamond. When I realized that, I'm like, it have so much of the ladies that probably lack their worth out there. So you'll get the phone calls on a daily basis. I'm sure you do, Stacy. Oh, Stacy, what you do with this decision? Girl, I don't know what to do. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tell my friends to come on. Girl, I tell her, come on, so that a long time. Why is still in this? Why is still in, whether it be a financial, a relationship, a divorce, a career, a education, whatever it is, we find ourselves lacking our worth. So it's this day that I was just driving on the highway. I was passing Petal, to be exact, on the lights. And I'm like, let's just have an event to motivate ladies. I'll call it Women of Elegance, because I realized that women really, lack their worth. It was just like that, like bam. And I was like, women really lack their worth and stuff like that. And I said, okay, we'll just have this one event. And then I said, okay, so I'm trying to learn my hosting and stuff like that. I will host the event. I said, look for motivational women. I know so much. I'll pray about it. And every decision I make, from what orders that those ladies eat, will be God-led. I would not make it nothing on my own. So I searched and I came up and stuff like that, and it ended up being an event, and it was beautiful because I made sure that God was the center of it all. God was the center of it all. Bam! God had another idea, which is, Ghenere, this is not just a one-time event. This is an organization. So whereas I thought that I was working towards something else, he opened the door to realize this has to be continuous. And what was the main thing is that, Ghenere, if you're going to head something called Women of Elegance, you are to be a woman of elegance. And every single topic, Stacy, that I choose to have an event, I go through the season of learning how to be that woman before the event happens. So we had being a woman of worth. I went through a trial of understanding my worth, with some relationship issues, and also because I was being in the forefront now, I remember the things that I did in the past. Right. And I was like, I wonder what you'll think about me, boy. I wonder what Susan's so probably saying. And God made me feel like, Ghenere, it's all about what I see. And this is not yours, this is mine that I gave to you to head, Then the second one was purified beauty. Understanding that you are beautiful beyond what it is that you see. That your inside is beauty than what outside is. So I went through that season of understanding Ghenere is not about your outward appearance, because that's something I had to learn. I'm so big on my outward appearance. I had to learn of Jen, it's all in the inside. That's what people see most. And my mother always talks to me. Jen is all about the inside. And then the third event was understanding you were royalty. That you were valuable beyond certain things. It's not about a stigma, who you are, what is your last name, who you know, because you realize that Trinidad and Tobago now is going into a direction that Stacy cannot do anything without linking with somebody who is known. Stacy can't get that done without taking. Stacy can't have Pinky go be the most successful, have the most successful song school unless she knows somebody else who's successful in that. No. So that event was for women to understand that you can still be valuable and you can still be a queen despite who you know or despite who knows you. And then we have one coming up, which is Purposeful Woman. And you know that I'm going through a season right now of understanding what it is to be a purposeful woman, which is one of the top P's, patience. Right. I'm willing to have patience, which I lack right now. So that's how the journey is. So everything that I give to Trinidad and Tobago, I have to now go through that test before I can even give. So it's something that I said in my first event to the opening. It takes a healed heart to relate to a broken heart, and that's exactly what happens. So, yes.
I think there's so many things that you said that was very inspirational, and I think coming from a young woman as well too, you speak like, you've been on this earth for a very long time, and it's really refreshing because you know, you see a lot of young women who maybe at this age, because you're can I say
yes,
you're
yes.
23 and you know, they're more focused on themselves, they're more
Yes.
focused on living it up, as you say,
True.
or turning up, as
Yeah,
they
turn
now
up,
say,
yes.
so figure out which is in use
Yeah.
when you're getting old, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, but you now have taken a different path,
Mhm.
and one that is to empower women.
Yes.
Now, what has been your challenges? I mean, I know you say, okay, look, you know, you have to go through certain things. You have to understand, you know, and really get into that frame of mind to really understand these different aspects of what you're teaching. Because I mean, again, it would be hypocritical for you to say, well, hey, you know, women of elegance, and you don't know how to be, you know, that woman, or you don't know your worth.
Exactly.
What have been your challenges, though, to really just get to this point? You've had 3 events already, and I'm sure you've reached a lot of women by that. What have been, you know, your triumphs as well, too?
Okay, so from a personal point of view,
Yeah, and just even from the business point of view, because I know it's, you know, at the end it's business as well.
consistency is very important.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we struggle, and I myself struggle, and even one of my videos I said that when you start something, make sure and finish it.
Yes.
You know, and that's something that my personality type and my temperament struggle with, which is like, okay, I'm so excited to do this. Okay, Ghenere, be consistent, finish it, okay? Don't get too excited 2 weeks. And I depend on motivation from others. So like my love language would be like for words. Oh yes, Ghenere, you do it, you're doing good. I have to learn how to work without that, and that's a big challenge. The other challenge could be trusting persons. Now we realize that everybody's opportunist now. Everybody's trying to piggyback on somebody else's success. Then everybody had the idea, I always wanted to do what you did. Okay, no problem, we'll do it. You know, just do it. Or don't try to show that you're not genuine to see, okay, what could I get from this? Oh, it's a show thing. Well, then I would look good if I join Women of Elegance, or if I do. So discernment of sifting people was very challenging for me, because I trust easily.
Yeah.
So I have to be very careful on, okay, God, when do you want people to join this team, or do you want people to join this team? Who do you want to do the graphics? Who do you want to do the video? What venue do you want? Who business do you want to sponsor this? All these different things. Who do you want me to endorse? All these different things, I have to be careful.
Right.
And especially being a women's organization, and you know that this country is filled with women movements right now.
Yeah, it is.
And I am very careful with what I am part of, because of different foundations of some of their beliefs. Whereas campaigns will just last for just like a week. I am here for something to deal with women's work. Yes, I am big on women's domestic violence and all these different things, but I'm more concrete problems, just words. So I'm very careful on the movements and march that I'm part of, because my foundation is Christ, so I have to be careful on what I am okay with that is in the making of being past in Trinidad, if you understand what I'm trying to say. You know?
That's interesting. Very interesting. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, women's worth a bit. And I actually really like the fact that you brought up being careful who you attach yourself to.
Yes.
So, I always say, and this is something that I've learned it's like you learn and then you have to relearn it sometimes, because you tend to, I don't know, forget, or maybe you just feel like, oh man, I don't want to be paranoid, I don't want to be, you know. And I always say people, energy and their spirit, you know, it affects each other. You know, we connect first spiritually before we connect anywhere else, and it's actually the hardest connection to break as well. So I mean, even from that perspective, as well as from a professional point of view, you also have, I understand saying that you have to be careful with what you attach yourself to, because sometimes in the forefront it may seem good, but it may not be right for you, because then the underlying tones, or even the people that are involved, may not necessarily kind of share, you know, maybe conflicting. Yeah. But as I said, you know, I want to talk a little bit about women's worth. I mean, nowadays, we're in this modern world, and the trend is, you know, someone told me once, if you're confident about your body, then you'll show it. Yeah. You know, you say you have it, you flaunt it, kind of thing. And I don't know. I mean, I tend to be kind of like, well, isn't it? I don't know. Like, honestly, because I feel like, you know, if you're confident, then you don't need to show that, because then you already know that you're beautiful and you're talented, and whatever. Why do I need to show that? You know. How do you feel about that? This new wave or new movement of women. I guess they're calling it women empowerment now. Where it's like, okay, well, I'm being empowered to show, and I can show what I want and whatever. How do you feel about it?
I am very sensitive around that topic, you know, because there was a lot of stuff happening in around current affairs of who with pictures and all these different things and personalities and type.
Yeah.
Because of what Women of Elegance stand for, I'll continue. A woman's worth and integrity. Who you are when no one's around.
Right.
You know, if you think that that defines you, well, you have to face the consequences of that choice.
Right.
If it is that you have to understand that if this is the area in life that you're going to be in all the time, well, okay, no problem. If it is that you tend now to go in and branch off in different areas, so yes, you have an entire school, but you also have a show. You're dealing with a woman's who she is as an individual and her ego and all these different things.
Yeah.
What does Stacy do what she wants here and forgets that she's a principal there and she has an integrity to hold? So it's all on who you are in different areas.
Right.
I am against freeing up with no sort of mindset. So it's like it could borderline on being rebellious, you know, because we just have to be free and be who we want and stuff like that. I do encourage women to be who you are and don't be a hypocrite, to be who the real you is. But you have to also understand that everything that you do affects your entire circle. It affects your parents, affects your children, it affects your nieces and nephews, it affects your organization, it affects your brand if you want to go down that business road, it affects who endorses you, it affects your sponsorships, it affects your investments.
You know, in terms of even image as well, I mean, how did you decide, okay, look, this is the image I want? Now I understand that you have, let's just say, you were brought up in, you know, Christ and stuff like that. But then at some point as a woman, you have to say, okay, look, this is the image that I want. This is, you know, for my brand, for myself or whatever. How did you decide that in terms of, you know, just general?
So that's a very good question, you know, because I never really thought about, okay, Shanae, how did you decide on this? How did you decide on that? I think being authentic is the best brand ever.
Right.
You will never be, and according to all the codes, to be the best version of yourself, all these different things, authentic. There's nothing else like pink ego, right? Because everybody gonna interview, okay, so how long have you been teaching?
Yeah.
Oh, so how long? You know, no. Dive deep inside. So I wanted to be a brand that there was none like in Women of Elegance. And if Ghenere founded Women of Elegance, Ghenere has to be Woman of Elegance. Ghenere has to be the face of her organization and also carry the characteristics of what elegance stands for. You know, being dignified and gracefulness and all these different things, stuff that I still have to work on.
Yeah.
But I understand I have to be authentic.
And it's good that you're still working on it, because then it shows that, look, you don't have to have a finished product.
No.
You could be a work in progress as
that's
well.
a lie, you know, for you to be a finished program, have it all together.
Yeah.
Because some of the most powerful women still having things trying to figure it out. You know, and as I said earlier, there's no other organization that focuses on a woman's worth. I have to make sure that this conversation I have with Stacy, conversation I may have offset, the conversation that I may have in the mall or with a customer or a client or a sales clerk must represent that all around, which is a woman of class, and a woman of worth.
I think two of the things that we need to understand as women, even men, is worth and purpose. Those two things are very powerful and changes your perspective on life completely. You know, and I think that's, and you could probably have something for men, because I feel like, because at the end of it, we always focus a lot on women and we leave the men out.
But we are actually in the making of something for men in November, which is around International Men's Day.
Wait, some international?
Yes, girl, and so much people listening.
Which is
it's
great.
It's on November the
actually,
17th or 18th, so when we focus men of integrity, understanding a man, you know, because
I think that we need to do more to really help our young men as well, to really understand who they are and their purpose and their, you know, their position as well, you know, at the same time. I read somewhere, as you mentioned earlier, you know, about these different groups and whatever, and you know, fighting for equality and whatever. And someone said this to me, you know, we were all born free and with power. So it's funny that, you know, we have to now fight for something that we were already born with.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, and I thought, and that changed my life a lot. You know, in terms of how I look at things professionally and personally as well. And you know, I always tell people, you know, my vision isn't about me. And the day that I discovered that, I was like, okay, great. This was a big, you know, waste, because it's a way that it's put on, and then it's a way that was took off as well at the same time. Because now I understand that my vision is for every person that I would meet. Every person I was meant to inspire and be inspired by. You know, so again, that is also part of purpose as well. So I'm really, really happy that as a young woman as well, that you're doing this, and that you're understanding, you're going through that process of understanding, because again, you're not waiting until you're finished, you're not waiting until you're this to get it done, you're doing it now, because we do need it now.
Yeah, you need it now.
We do need it now. Now, what is great about you as well is that you have this brand, but you're also studying.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm studying creative media production at SBCS. So it's more than just the production aspect and the producing and the equipment and behind the scenes and the editing. It's understanding media for what it is, you know, and it wows me every single week when I go to school to know that there's a lot of information that I don't know. And there's a lot of things that I develop. Like one of my lecturers is so big on critical thinking, and it's something that I am yet to have. So every week you see when you need to read, you need to keep abreast on what's happening and how powerful media controls every single thing, from our choices to what we intake. And then I'm learning also about our culture in Trinidad. And you know, she said something that really stood out. What we produce in Trinidad, we don't consume, and what we consume, we don't produce. And that changed my entire thinking of what do you really want to offer Trinidad, Ghenere? What does Trinidad really want to do? Exactly what do we really need as a nation? What are we hungry for, you know? So media studies is amazing right now because all that is in building and the contribution to my brand and who I would like to become, you know?
Yeah, I mean, as you speak to as well, you know, as a woman, we all have things that maybe insecurities and so forth, yeah? And you seem very confident in who you are. But it doesn't mean that you don't have your days as well.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you probably have to struggle with in terms of just becoming more secure in that and just saying, you know what, this is me.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna put especially as you're in front of a camera.
Yes.
Because I know I had to go through that too. It took me like 3 years to be like, okay, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? So how is that for you?
Well, what happened is that I took a big leap and changed my degrees.
Yeah.
And I was doing psychology before. And I was in psychology probably like for 3 years, Stacy.
Yeah.
And I scraped my way through.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ghenere, what is this going on to you? You can't study, you can't pass this degree. My year had finished, had graduated, and that mashed me up. People that I started, that I finished convent with and started degrees was graduating. I went, I was like, Ghenere, ways. I mean, there's probably nothing here. You don't have this degree, nothing we really have. You don't have no degree, you're not studying. And I was talking to my parents, and then you know, like my parents always encourage, you know, they're very big on the motivation their children and their worth and who they are. And, you know, yes, that's through your parents' eyes. But then I'm like, but Ghenere, you have this. You did an organization, you're motivating ladies, you're doing this, you're doing that. Your worth is not defined by your degree, you know? And I had to take a big leap. And I know lots of people probably disagree with what I did. Change from psychology to a big opposite thing, which is media, and I'm enjoying every day of school.
Yeah.
I've never enjoyed school so much before, and that really affected me a lot. At times in my quiet moments, it probably does still that. Okay, Ghenere, now start over a whole degree. You have like about 3 years again. People, your age and have masters already. What are you gonna do, you know? And I'm like, but it's okay, but Ghenere, okay, but look what you have done. You are impacting a nation, you are impacting a great audience. Study, take, and everything happened in perfect time.
Yeah.
And
everything is related. And it's all about passion too. Now you're getting up and you're excited and you're going to do something that you love. It brings me to a topic as well, legacy. You know, I kind of really focus a lot on my I think about it so much now that I was like, wow, I 10 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, I didn't even think about it, but now it's so important. You know, what am I going to leave behind? What are people going to say about me? What would you want your legacy to be?
Well, I know that I'm already in the making of it, you know, and understanding what my organization really would. But I think what I really want people to remember is that despite the brand of motivating people and dealing with serious topics of a woman's worth, I want people to remember me as the bubbly, loving person that I am, you know. And despite that I'm dealing with concrete, tough issues, Ghenere was always warm and she was always welcoming. And I think the way that we communicate to people tells a lot on where we would be. Tells you lots of our success of Women of Elegance, tells you lots of our success of our shows and all these different things. That I dealt with people, that I was more for the people than for anything of the success, for the money or for the glam or for the photos or for the being in media. I was more for the people. So I think that's a legacy that I would like to leave back, to understand that you're all for people's heart more than anything else. Life-changing experiences more than your own success. You know?
Well, I do appreciate everything that you're doing, and I want to encourage you to keep doing that.
Thank you so much, Stacy. You too. You too, because I know that your hands are in so much different things, and it's so great to see that you did not just talk something, actually walk in the talk. And it's amazing, and I know I told you even when I saw you, is that you did exactly what you wanted to do. And that's entrepreneurs taking risks and even living their dreams.
Exactly. And it's a journey. I think what I've learned, and I think I would share this with anyone, trust the process as well. You know, it's not always going to happen when you want it to happen. Because trust me, this project was supposed to happen like 2 years, 3 years ago. And it's now. And we're still creeping with it. It's still, you know, but at the end of the day, again, it's a process, and I'm learning how to just trust that and go with that and move with it. And I mean, so far, so good. So, I mean, you know, I really appreciate you coming in and
oh, thank you so much for having me anytime. It was so good. It was such a great conversation.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Ghenere Lindsi Heerah, founder and owner of Women of Elegance, and I am extending a personal invitation to all the beautiful women of Trinidad and Tobago